Us just released today. Bum bum.
There's a family in our driveway.
1 minute editor's cut, written and directed by Jordan Peele.
This is where the magic happens. Yeah.
Bum bum.
Yeah. What's gonna happen next?
Bum bum. It was on point for me.
Gave me goosebumps.
I got chills.
Great acting, great story.
No one was eating popcorn. I was very impressed. Very impressed by it. It was a very good builder.
I got 5. Yeah.
What?
He's out doing turns like, hey, yeah, it's working. I got 5.
Wow. You could feel it. Damn, they choreographed the shit out of this. Bum bum.
Through the movie.
I need my pills!
Yeah. They allude to what had happened before family decides to go for a summer vacation. Yeah. Gave me goosebumps.
Feel that kind of uneasy feeling like flip the switch and it's go time.
Everyone's just like, okay. The premise of this is, I got 5.
I'm gonna stop you there.
They all look the same. They're going after each other. So what gives?
Okay, these people are these people.
They're connected.
Spoilers. Big spoiler. Cloning.
Oh. Cloning lab.
Cloning.
Oh. Netherworld or the shadow world.
Bum.
They're psychologically linked.
Another type realm underneath. 2 bodies, but only 1 soul. Brutal.
See it. Go see it.
Go see it in theaters. File notice media.
This is where the magic
And
happens.
I think so.
Corey.
So a scene that like super stuck out to me.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
Was when the 2 main characters. Damn, I wish I could remember her name. Lupita. When she was fighting her double.
Dang it, you stole my scene.
Was that
was
one?
my favorite
Dude,
too. That was one of the favorites, yeah.
With like how she was
like a
dancing
dance.
with her and having flashbacks to the dancing.
Yeah.
Because when she danced is when she realized that this is what happened.
Yeah.
That she was like kidnapped as a child.
Yeah.
And like it all came back to her and she held on to it and everything like that. Like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Like
it
that
was really cool.
That was your scene too?
I liked that, they're isolated at this point. She, at this point in the story, has found her way through this mirrored hall of mirrors that she was first exposed to as a kid.
And it was like a search. It was like an adventure. I wish I could remember what the name of the place was because it was
Find
like a
yourself.
soul.
There's a sign.
It was like find yourself. I think that's
said-
what it was. It was
there's
like
a
an
sign.
Indian,
Yeah.
like a Native American Indian, like find yourself journey.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck.
It had a
There's so
nature-
many things going on.
Yeah, a lot of
Like,
symbolism,
yeah.
a lot of metaphors within the
tons
within the
of metaphors in this
film.
movie.
So when she gets into this hall of mirrors, there's an owl that comes out, and as a kid it scared her, and then as she's an adult going through trying to find her kids, because she's going in trying to find her son at this
the
point.
shit out of it. Yep.
This owl, the same owl from like 30 years ago, pops out. Same thing. She takes a baseball bat and just clobbers it, and she's just like,
that was super
moving
good,
on. Just
because we
not even thinking
remember it
about
because that was one of the kind of like that was like the jump scare in the beginning.
Yeah.
That made me go, damn it.
Kinda
Like,
cheesy,
I
like,
knew it was coming,
alright.
so I could kind of be like, okay, because that's a good jump scare.
Yeah.
Let them know something's coming and then make it pop.
She
So I
moves
knew
right
something
through
was
that.
coming,
Yeah.
and the owl pops. I was like, fuck, they got me. That was a
Yeah.
jump scare. And then we knew it was coming anyway.
Yeah.
And she knew it was coming too.
The
and
audience,
just was like
everybody
waiting
knew.
for it. Bah!
Yeah.
So I was like, oh
Clobbered
my
it.
god, that's so good.
Yeah, the owl falls down, and she makes her way down into the cloning shadow world.
Yeah, it's either a cloning facility,
Something, yeah.
or
It's
it's,
just
like
so
an
weird how
alternate
clean-
dimension type thing.
Like
yeah.
the layout, and you see a snippet of it in the trailer is how clean it is, and then you have rabbits going everywhere, and you were looking at it wondering like, where is this? What's going on? I remember, through the
I
movie.
need my pills!
Yeah, pick our pills. And so, she's making her way down there in search of her son, trying to get to save him, and then her counterpart comes out of nowhere, and then there's this. For me, it came across like a dance of death. Like they're literally fighting for the soul that they share.
And there's great dialogue in it
Yeah, it
too.
was really
Like there
good
was a
dialogue.
couple the beginning scene in the small like teacher's room that was there, like the school room. And then like they had a tiny bit of dialogue and a really good, like really well done kind of fighting sequence.
Yeah.
And then she runs away. And then you kind of have that epiphany of everything, and then that's when they have that big fight with the flashbacks to the dancing.
Yeah, they have more of the
and
story.
She's giving you that kind
They
of...
tell you, they explain to you, okay, you know, why are all these people in red suits showing up to join hands around the world?
Yeah.
And why are people getting stabbed and killed? What is the reasoning behind this? Because through the whole story, you don't understand. You know, at first, in the beginning of the movie, they have just the family of 4 that are linked. They have their hands linked just outside the house, staring at everyone, at the original people. And you know, after a few minutes of the family yelling at these, the red suited family, hey, what are you doing here? What do you want? Get out of here.
Yeah, like if you haven't seen the trailer, you wouldn't have, like, you'd know in the trailer, but if you didn't see the trailer, which really sucks, I really wish they wouldn't have given us as much in the trailer, because you wouldn't have known that they looked like them. And when they find out they look like them, they're like, oh shit. And that's when, like, the suspense has already been built up really well. And then the family comes, and you know in your mind, like, this is it. What's gonna happen? And then it fucking happens, and it happens like that. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm thinking that he, like, slightly fractured his foot, because he was limping throughout the whole movie, and I liked how they kept that. Like, in a lot of movies, someone will get hurt, and then all of a sudden they're fine the next scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, and, like, he gets his fucking leg hit, and, like, everything just starts going nuts, and then they sit them all down, like you see in the trailer too, and it was just fucking good.
Yeah, no, they did a really good job. So yeah, she goes down there, and it's like a dance of death, you know, really, and then can we talk about spoilers yet?
All of it.
Oh, okay, cool. So the moment I knew that they had switched places, it was when she had killed her evil counterpart.
Yeah.
And there were some weird tics.
Did you get hints of it?
The other hint I got was when they first met and they were in the summer house. The red suited mom did this gesture and then made a really odd face. And I'm looking at it like, huh. And then that the good girl or the good mom makes that same face as she's trying to kill her counterpart. And I'm looking at it like, they switched. They must have switched. Something is fishy here. Something doesn't add up.
They did a good job.
And I think the plot twist is, and then they later explained they did switch. You know, one of them was knocked out. The other took that place. And during the whole movie, you know, the upbringing of that child, the parents, you know, at that point when the mom was a kid, and I hope I'm not jumping around too much in the story. You know,
it's okay. Yeah, they jump.
To follow, but
they jump around a bit. Hopefully, if you're watching at this point, you've already seen it and you just want to know what we're saying.
Yeah,
but yeah, they do jump a bit. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to like explain. Plus, we were super hyped when we got out of this movie. We have a rule not to talk about the movie until we film.
Yeah,
and it was like really, really hard not to talk about it.
Probably should have taken a couple notes just to keep the storyline straight or whatnot, but they put a lot of thought into this, and there's a lot to untangle from it, you know,
it is,
and discuss.
And it's not like they did it on accident too, because like when you're trying to think back, you're gonna go, okay, let's try to walk this all the way through, and then you're gonna be kind of doing like what we're doing right now, like I think this happened here, and then that, because everything, even from the very opening scene of the movie where she's just watching TV, you just think she's watching TV. And then all of a sudden at the end, it comes into huge play later on.
Yeah.
So it's like everything in this movie means something.
Yeah.
And
I think when she was a kid, it was like 1980. It was the late 80s, and they
like
had a
that.
commercial that said, we're having a fundraiser, and the theme of it is Hands Across America. We're going to try and set a goal for everyone in the United States to link hands from the West Coast to the East Coast. Join us. Go to your local record shop, which is like, whoa, you know, this is dating itself. And then flash forward, you know, 30 years later, this little girl is now an adult, and now you have all these weird creepy people in red suits linking hands, you know, looking up at the sun, and you're like, oh wow, this has been a long time that this has been culminating. And come to find out, you know, once they switched spots, the little girl that was originally on Earth that was dragged down and in the shadow world raised an army to break out of this amusement park and take all of their counterparts and then form hands and celebrate it. And it was like, wow,
it was crazy.
That gave me goosebumps seeing all that too.
Yeah, and it was like, And it was so weird too because I felt like, okay, she's not doing this for the people. She's just doing this because she's so malice.
Yeah.
And sour because
Yeah.
it seemed like
That's
just
what
were
it
kind of
seemed like.
following her directions.
Yeah, that she's just been so screwed over for so many
Yeah.
years that it's her time to shine and to take revenge
Yeah, and to
enjoy.
not experience good emotion.
Yeah.
That it just
Yeah.
like built her into being like this psychopath.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like you said, she was a normal person. And then she's been living down there for, like 25 years probably.
At least, yeah.
At least probably like 25. I'm thinking to like 23 to like 27 years.
Okay.
Just because of like
She's
the
already
age
8,
of everyone.
so let's say 8 and 23, there's 31, so she's probably
yeah, exactly.
in her
That's
late
what I'm
20s, early
figuring.
30s-ish. So yeah, you
Yeah.
know, 20 plus years, 25 years.
Yeah, so it was it was a cool thing to go back and also one thing that I like really liked about it was like the duality, like everything had duality, like
Yeah.
even his friend, the friend that they met at the beach,
Yeah.
they had kids and their kids were twins.
Yeah.
It was
I didn't even think of
God,
that.
there's twins
That's a
of the
good point.
twins,
Yeah.
like holy shit, like
Yeah.
everything. And then the Bible verse, which I'm curious to see what it is, Jeremiah 11:11.
Oh, I didn't even catch
11:11.
that. Oh, okay.
And then they show the clock, and the
Yeah.
clock is 11:11. And then the frisbee comes and falls
There's a
on
star.
the blanket, and the frisbee was like the perfect circle of the circle on the blanket. And
I didn't even think of that.
yeah, like there was so much in that movie. I'm cursed, dude. Like
As far as
I
picking up
see
these
so
things.
much of this shit.
Well, at first when you
That
had
when
said
twist comes,
Yeah.
it doesn't. I'm like, yeah, that's what I figured. But with this, I was like, whoa,
still
whoa, whoa.
surprised you
Like
with
this
this
is what I thought, and very rarely will a movie fool me. That's why I'm like so kind of like, holy shit, I'm so happy that I saw this.
Yeah.
I told him when we got out of the theater, it really put the nasty taste of Captain Marvel out of my mouth because I was like sour after watching that movie.
I didn't see that one, and I can only rely on what Corey has to say, and he says
I
don't.
was like really
don't
upset.
see it on.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I wanted
see
it.
it on
I wanted
Netflix.
it to be so much better, and it wasn't. But anyway, I thought because I noticed the ticks in her while they were fighting in the beginning. And I was like, ooh, something's different. Is this like some sort of animalistic type deal that they're gonna play off with the owl, or like weird things? Like I was just thinking like maybe like animality would come in later in the film, and it didn't.
Yeah.
And then as it progressed more, and then you said, she was kind of making like a weird with the fire with the kid when he walks back into the fire,
That's
which was
one of
an
the things
amazing scene
Yeah,
too.
I want to
Holy
touch on
shit.
that. Yeah, that was cool.
And she makes this kind of weird thing, and I was like, something. Okay, all right, they switched. They fucking switched for sure. And then when she finally kills her, and she's like, and I'm like, fucking shit, they switched, and she was playing the whole family the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, like I thought so, and I was like kind of disappointed. I was like, I fucking thought so.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Like they should have tried to hide some of that a little more, and then that way when she starts doing that, people be like, oh shit, they switched. But and then it fucking turned out that no, they switched way the fuck back when they were 8 years old.
Yeah.
And that her like whole
That's what I was wondering
learning
too. Did she switch
I was like,
suits?
holy
Did-
shit.
You know, were they adults when one killed the other? And
Yeah,
and
because
then
there was a
I
lot of
like,
scenes where they
what is
they
that?
do like a hard cut, or they do like a not really a fade to black, but like a quick black transition,
Yeah.
where she's like walking into a room and it's like quick black to her kids.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, dude. Like I think for sure that she's gonna get switched, and that's what the main thing was. No.
Yeah, au contraire.
She gets fucking switched when she was a kid.
Yeah.
And they have this whole thing, which
So this is a whole lifetime in the making.
Yeah,
for
and
all
they're
of
like
this to finally
the
come to
therapist.
culminate. You know, and I'm trying to. The other thing that I was really impressed with was when they first initially met, how that actress did such a good job enunciating, cutting off. If you listen to how she speaks when she comes and finally meets her counterpart, and the way she cuts off her words and struggles with, it sounds like her voice is going out, and I'm not talking about a sore throat. You know, it's like,
I was thinking that when I was cooking because I was like, okay, they surprised me, good for them.
Yeah.
Like super happy. And I was thinking back on, I was like, you know what it was? Is she never talked.
oh,
She never talked the whole 20 plus years that she was down there.
oh wow,
And so when she finally talks, it was like
Struggled. Yeah.
because those muscles weren't worked forever.
Oh, wow.
And then like I noticed anyway, and maybe when I say it, you'll be like, fucking shit, you're right. Like as the movie progressed, her speaking became better and better
didn't
and
pick
better.
up on that, but
and
now
towards
that
the end of the movie, she was like she still was different. She
Yeah.
wasn't the same as the other person
But
who's been
but
speaking
the
the whole life.
speech strengthened.
But she was way better.
So I'm
and I was like,
thinking of-
fuck, she was living that shitty world down
Yeah.
there, and she could not talk at
Yeah.
all the whole time because they figured her out. She was like, they figured out that I wasn't like them.
Yeah.
So God knows what happened to her then. You know, like all this horrible stuff with like
Yeah.
like it just leaves so much to even think about too.
Yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
click. I mean, when she tells the story of how she ended up down there and she started to raise her army, everyone that was down there originally noticed because of her dance, because of her ballet lessons and the skill that she had as a kid, being able to dance as well as she did dancing ballet, and everyone looked to that and said, "You are our way out of here. You're actually from upstairs. You're
Yeah.
from Earth. Lead us." You know?
Yeah, because I think what I'm theorizing is because the double that lived down there for 8 years and then dragged the girl back down and was like, fuck that, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
You're taking my place. And she handcuffed her. That's why the handcuffs were so
Yeah,
symbolic.
yeah.
She told her to handcuff her with the same ones that she did. She just didn't
Turnabout's
remember.
fair play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the reckoning. Now we're gonna come
now-
do the same thing to you.
Yeah, everything's gonna
You-
come full circle
Yeah.
now. Yeah, and so this person or this clone or this being, she didn't feel any joy, any
Yeah.
happy emotions for her whole adolescence until she escaped. And then once that she learned through like the therapy session that they were having, and they were like, teach her to draw, whatever. Like
That's when
and
she
then
developed her
finally
skills to
she was
have
like,
speech and
yeah,
and carry on. You know?
Yep, and that's why she was quiet for so long, because she didn't know how to talk.
Yeah.
So she was like learning just by like shutting the fuck up and like
Yeah,
I can't make
observing,
sure that they don't
listening.
know I'm not this person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the exact same. So they just thought it was post-traumatic stress from whatever happened in that Hall of Mirrors. She had wandered off, and her parents didn't know where she went. And then 15 minutes later, she was only gone for 15 minutes, and they found her, and she wasn't speaking for years.
50 something
Oh,
minutes.
oh,
she was
so
gone
just
for
under an
more
hour.
than 15, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
just under
okay.
an hour. I remember that because I was like, does that mean something? Because normally numbers and times, if a movie's really good, it'll mean
Yeah.
something. So I was like, it was like 52 or 56. It was one of those, I believe.
Yeah.
I was like, does that mean something? But yeah, it was just under an hour. Shit.
So, I mean, really, really good. A lot of thought put into this.
Yeah.
A lot of symbology, well written, draws you in. There's a wonderful twist. I'm trying to think of what else to mention that stands out to me.
It's
eating
hard.
up
The
time in
whole
meantime.
movie does. Well, like the boy walking backwards.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And it was like, wow, because her son in the movie, which really isn't her son. That's why it's like hard to explain
It's
this
what's
movie
so
out, because
weird.
everything's backwards,
Yeah.
kinda. But the son realized that the one from down below was like always mimicking him and doing what he was doing. We had
Yeah.
a good scene in the closet where
Yeah.
he was like, I was like, damn, he's not just tracking him. Like
Yeah.
he knows him. And so in that scene, what happened was, and let me know if you didn't know this already. Like I said, I'm a fucking fool when it comes to this. So the good boy was walking backwards, and the good boy knew that he was sacrificing himself,
Yeah.
as well as having that boy sacrifice himself, because they're so connected. Like all those people are so connected
Oh, I
with
didn't
each
even think
other.
of that.
Yeah, so like when
he was backing
he
up
got kidnapped,
and he got kidnapped.
That wasn't a surprise
That
to
was-
him.
he
He
knew
knew
that. Okay.
that I am technically walking back into my fire as well as he's walking into his fire.
Okay.
And so I think that's why at the end of the movie, like when he pulls his mask down, like he's like, I fucking know.
Yeah.
I know because I walked into my fire to get caught, and you're not my fucking mom anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's why it held on him after he pulled his mask down, because he never pulled his mask down with his
No.
family.
Yeah.
He pulled his mask down with the fake family.
Yeah.
Like in that whole movie, he never did that.
Yeah.
So it was like that was an important moment. So I was like, fuck, man. Like that was like, yeah, it was well thought out. It was super well thought out. Or maybe I'm giving Jordan Peele too much fucking credit, but I
Maybe it was
really
a
don't
happy
think so.
accident. Maybe it was a coincidence.
Yeah, I really don't. With how that whole movie was, I really don't think it was just a happy accident. Like, I think for sure that like I said, with everything in that movie, everything meant something. Like, this is a movie that I'm for sure going to buy. And I'll probably watch it a couple times. And I think it'll be one of those movies that I'm like, shit, you haven't seen Us? We need to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, this is definitely be something that I'll recommend to people after it comes out. Like, if it pops on Netflix, be like, oh my God, dude, Us is out on Netflix. If you haven't seen it. Yeah.
Do you have any little things, there's always movie logic or, things that as you're looking at it, you're like, okay, but in reality, it's like, why would they do that? So for instance,
sure.
One thing that stood out to me was so at one point in the story, they saw the news. They realized this isn't just an isolated incident. Everybody's going through this right now in the Santa Cruz area, and they got to get to a car and get out. No pun intended. Not to
get out.
Not to allude to the other movie that Jordan Peele has written and directed, I believe.
Yeah, yes.
But they try and move to the car. They forget the car keys. Like, wouldn't you think if you're headed to the car, you'd have the car keys?
Let's get to the car.
Yeah.
That's because they were talking shit about how he just had to buy that new car.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, it's our car now. And they all leave. I'm like, no one got the fucking keys.
Like,
really?
Like, you would probably want to talk all this out before you all get out of this house that at least is affording you some time. You don't know what's outside. Move as a unit. Go to the car. Get in and drive off.
And then when she went into the house on her own, like that, there was that one part. Like, I can't really think of any other parts in the movie where I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah, she's going in alone to get the keys.
Like, so after
why
they
isn't
forget
everyone
the keys,
going in to get the keys?
Then she goes in on her own, and then she has to fight another one of those fucking psychos.
Yeah.
And then
who she thought was dead.
Yeah. And then when they get back, the fucking daughter's gonna drive. Yeah. And they're not like, and like the dad's not like, get the fuck in the back seat. Yeah. Like, you're not driving. What's wrong with you? Your mother's driving. Yeah. Like that part, I was like, really? Yeah. Like, come on. Like all of a sudden, this girl's like, maybe she's driven before. Yeah. But she's obviously very new to it if she has. Like, no, I'm driving. Like, I was like, trying to solve all this stuff out of here.
Yeah, they're taking all this time, all this valuable time to sort this stuff out, and people are outside of the car. You don't know what's going on. You're arguing. Time is getting eaten up, and then you have all these other people sizing you up.
Yes. Yeah, no, you're right. And because then they're arguing, and there's the other one. Yeah. Like, obviously, And I'm wondering if that's just from like their comedy or his comedy background is because the movie was very funny too. Yeah. Everything that I believe was supposed to be funny hit. Yeah. And like I laughed a couple of times.
I had a few laughs, just at different things, just to break tension. I think they did a good job trying to set up points where, they were being like, for example, when that family first meet, they give a little bit of their story, and finally the dad cuts in and says, like, I can give you my wallet. You can even have the boat. And then they're like, nobody wants your boat, Dad. And that was like a good,
you're like, ooh.
That was a good moment to like break a little of the tension because it was so drawn out. You're like, oh God, what's going on? These creepy people with scissors and leather gloves are running around, and you don't know what they want.
I was just waiting for the dad to get his fucking head crushed with
That's what I thought, yeah.
Like, I was like
I thought he was going to die first, and then I was like, everybody else on their own.
This fucking guy is going to say something silly, and he's going to get his fucking head knocked off with this metal bat. Like, I was like, the whole time, I'm just like, oh, that's what I'm worried about. Yeah. He's going to say, like, do you want the keys to the boat? Yeah. And then the fool's going to be like, ugh. Whack! Yeah. And he's dead. I'd be like, oh shit! Like, I was like worried about that.
I first thought when he got hit in the leg that he was just gonna have his head clubbed in right then and there. But they decided to drag him over to the couch and then tell their story. And then, like Corey said, I thought he'd get killed there. Yeah. And then he keeps surviving. And I wish in retrospect he could have had a little bit more of a take charge. I wish they had written his character as more of a little bit more of a take charge guy. He was kind of put in the backseat a few times and is kind of portrayed as this bumbling, like, I'm the dad, like a Homer Simpson type guy. And
there was part,
he pointed out
there was parts where I was like, come on, step up, dude. Like,
he's
like, Jesus Christ,
he's a big ass dude. He's a big guy. He's physically imposing. He has a good, presence, a little bit of a dad body, but it's like,
yeah, he's a big dude.
He's in shape enough to defend himself.
I wouldn't want to square up with him. Yeah, like, no way. Like, oh, that guy's fucking big. Well, I think like they for sure that was his character. And I liked that when he like went out to confront this like other family that was outside that they didn't know was like their doubles, that he was like acting tough.
Yeah.
And then he went back inside, was like, all right, call the cops. And then like he goes back out and you can tell he's like broken at that point. Like he's like completely faking it. You get like his voice. I think his voice even like cracks a little bit. His whole demeanor
changed.
Like you're like, oh no, he's realized that he can't talk his way out of this.
His head,
and like apparently he's just like not a fighter.
Yeah.
He has some scenes.
Yeah. Well, he had to point out when they were arguing before they left. You know, after they got the car key, they're all trying to figure out who's gonna drive the car to get out of there.
He was like, my legs hurt.
He's like, I killed 2 people and everybody else killed 1. So
yeah, it was like a show off. He was like, I did kill 2 people though.
Yeah, he seems like kind of like hanging back, not doing much, but he actually killed. He's like, I killed myself, and I killed the other.
I killed myself
head
and
of
I killed the
household.
other dad person.
The white dad. Yeah,
and I think like I wish he was a stronger type character too. Like that would have been really cool. But I just feel like that wasn't his role in this movie. Like the strong, powerful role was meant to be that the mom character, because like
this
she
is
got
kind of her
fucked
struggle.
over.
Yeah, so
like
this is her
she's
lifelong.
the one that,
This is all culminating, in her life.
And it was really like learning about the emotion.
That's a good point.
And trying
I didn't think of that.
I was like, fuck. Like as much as I wish that the dad would have been like a dad, a fucking dad. Like
just a
like
couple
dad's
take
gonna
charge
fucking
moments.
rip someone's head off if his kids are at.
Yeah.
Like most people that I know that are fathers anyway is like I will let myself die to save my fucking kids.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take out as many of you motherfuckers as I can.
Yeah.
And I think he did a good job in like knowing that he wasn't good at fighting.
Yeah.
So like he used
knowing his limits, I guess you could say.
He used situational things like going into the boat and firing the flare.
Yeah.
And then the flare doesn't work. He's just like, oh no, now I have to fight him.
Yeah.
So and like we didn't get to see that, which I liked too.
Yeah.
But I mean, like we got to see
how did he survive?
we got to
What did
see
he
how
do
he
to get
killed
out of there?
himself.
Yeah.
And he really killed himself by tricking him.
Yeah.
Like he was almost dead, and he tricked him, and he ended up killing him with the boat.
Yeah.
And I mean, like he didn't win that physical contest.
Yeah.
He won the smarts contest in that. So it's like I liked it. Like at least he just wasn't like the normal fucking stupid Homer dad that we see on like a lot of commercials nowadays.
Yeah.
They're like the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
Like at least if he knew he wasn't physically like on par, at least he was smart enough to like fucking trick these people out and like not end up just being like a complete bitch throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know like I couldn't like, dude, there was just no tropey things in this movie.
It did. Yeah, it was pretty original.
Like it was very fresh.
Novel ideas. A lot of stuff that they're coming up with in this story that, it's like, oh, this doesn't feel like a cliche. This doesn't feel like, in the midst of all these other movies, not just with psychological thrillers or horror films.
No, everything.
Everything
remake
just feels
after
so
remake,
recycled, and
comic book after comic book.
Oh yeah,
like
and to generate as much revenue as possible. And here's a film with an original idea, that's they're willing to take to a creative new realm, I guess.
Yeah.
It was really cool getting to see that and that's the whole point of going to see the movies, is to have these new cinematic experiences.
Yeah.
And now it just feels like, it just feels like a lot of these movies, it's let's play it safe. Let's do what we know will work.
Yep.
And not question, not take any creative risks. Go out on a limb, and this movie does. This movie, and they thought it out. They put effort into it, and some movies like I'd say like RoboCop, or maybe other films that they're kind of quirky, weird, and then they end up being a cult classic, or just it goes way unexpectedly well. And this one, it feels like they knew that this was going to be good. They methodically combed through the details of this story, and it was really well organized, well executed, and just good storytelling, good acting. I have to hand it that actress again. When they first met, the counterparts first meeting, she could summon tears down her eyes like that. It was just so.
Oh yeah.
It was like so surgical how she could command her emotions. It was like, wow. You know, I wish I could do that. I don't know.
It was incredibly believing.
The level of control and the level, you know, it's an act. It's all an act, but you look at it and you're like, this isn't an act. This looks so genuine right now. It was.
Oh yeah.
It was really well done. It was really cool.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Like 98% of the movie was completely believable just through the acting alone.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, they did such a good job.
Yeah.
Like, kudos to the casting director.
Yeah.
It was so good. And, like, for those kids to be so young and to do such a good job was very, very impressive.
Yeah. I give credit to the kids, too. You know, you can read a lot through a person's eyes. And for a kid to be able to convey, you know, to say as much as they did through different scenes, like, for example, just looks. Yeah. Just looking at their eyes. And seeing what they had to say with just a glance or maybe a gaze, you know, like at the end of the movie when that boy looks at the counterfeit mom and you just look at how he's looking at her. That was like, wow, that was a good shot. He did a really good job conveying like, hey, without saying a word, looking at that mom and saying, I know you're a fake. I know what you did. And then puts the mask on and then, you know.
Like for us to,
it gives me
us
goosebumps
to
talking
know
about it,
he's
you know?
suspicious.
Yeah.
And for her to not realize he's suspicious and just kind of smile it on. Like,
oh, you know, well,
fuck.
I looked at it differently. I thought she knew he knew and didn't care. But you're saying
what I was real curious. I was
place.
like, are they faking us out on the ending?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, holy crap, are they going to fake us out on the ending and have that boy be the fucking other boy?
Yeah.
But then I was like, the other
like
boy's
a double
all
twist.
scarred.
Like they're both...
like the other boy's all scarred.
Which I'm wondering how he got those scars.
Like, right? Like, I wonder if some sort of accident happened in the past.
What happened to him?
And then it got pushed onto the boy instead. Like, like there's so much to think about with this movie.
Yeah, a lot to...
And it says a lot.
A lot to untangle. Okay, so there was a white family, right? The mom of the family at one point had restrained Lupita's character, I forget her name, and then started looking in a mirror, putting on makeup and stuff, and then took a pair of scissors, started cutting the side of her face. What was that all about?
Dude, I think...
what was that?
I was think like... It was just...
Why is she going nuts? Why is she like, You know, they're already out. They're already, like, trying to take over. She's already killed her counterpart. Why are you taking scissors and, like, you know, cutting your face open? And
I was really curious about
like,
that.
Are you psychologically damaged? Like... What is it? What is your motive to be doing this to normally yourself? You already kind of won.
Well, I'm wondering if it's because she had nothing to do, so she just like resorted to like the worst of humanity.
Yeah.
Like they were really their whole existence, because like everyone, and I like this too, because so we get this weird thing with that family.
Yeah.
They're trying to kill them. And there's a story happening, and then when they're friends, the white couple and their kids, when they get found, they just get straight murdered.
Yeah, it was very quick.
And I was like, hey, how come they're not fucking with them? How come this isn't something going on with the other person?
Cut and dry.
So this family is special. There's a particular aspect in the original family that's different than everybody else, because they just get fucking murdered like immediately.
I like that you say that, because, you know, I've seen so many movies where somebody that's not a main character just gets killed, and I just feel so used to that I thought, oh, this is another movie where this white family's not the main central focus of the story. They're just gonna get killed. But now that you say, hey, this family is special because of what has happened to that mom years gone by, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah,
like it's like, that's good. That was a good detail too that they put in the story. I didn't even think of that.
Like those deaths, like I don't think there was any deaths. Well, that's not true.
Most of
all
them
the main characters
just,
and everything like that, and like the ones that died, it portrayed part of the story. Because that was like a huge hint, like, oh shit, like this isn't just something, like that's a special family and everyone else is just getting fucking murdered. And so to go on with why I think she was cutting her face is because that she saw it was her. And she handcuffed her again. So she was like waiting for the other the other main part. Yeah, the counterpart. Let's just call him counterpart.
Doppelganger.
They were waiting for the doppelganger. I like that better.
All right.
To come, but she was there, and she had no purpose at that point in time.
Okay.
So she was just
chilling,
just doing makeup. But like that other mom, she didn't like where she was.
Yeah.
She had kids that she didn't want. She was unhappy with her husband. So like maybe she was like a cutter.
Potentially.
You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
maybe she had like self-destructive tendencies, and those were like constantly being reflected upon that girl. So when she was just sitting there like, oh, I'm just following the motions. I'm doing my makeup. Fuck my life.
Yeah.
I hate myself.
Yeah, maybe,
that's why I was like, fuck, maybe that's what that means.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but it's
Yeah.
like I could see there being possibilities
Yeah.
out of that. Yeah.
The mannerisms for the daughters in that family, you know, they did earlier in the story they were doing cartwheels. Now their doppelgangers killed them, and they're doing cartwheels with scissors in their hands. Like, gosh. And they had to get fought off with a golf club and a poker and all kinds of crazy stuff, a fire poker. And
it's creepy.
yeah, it was super
very
creepy. And, you know, yet another good point in the story, you know. And I thought after they killed the white family that the story would wrap up. Honestly, at that point, I think it'd been about an hour and a half in the film. I was like,
yeah, I was
most
like, fuck.
Featured horror films are like 90
it.
minutes. Okay, they cued the music. I'm like, oh, that was quick. I mean, that was cool. 90 minutes. I was entertained even up to this point. And they're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
We're going to roll forward with this. Yeah,
we have way more to tell you.
Yeah, way more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to untangle all kinds of stuff. Because at that point, they could have, you know, left. And I would have been fairly entertained at that point. Like, bum. Well, and the dad shows up like, oh, yeah, time to get in the boat. We're out of here, kids.
Yeah.
They just, like, the end. Like, oh, okay.
And having some kind of ending like Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Where they just get onto the island, and then they're all on the island
And
too.
just leave
Look
it at
out.
that. Yeah,
Like,
look out for part 2.
I was like,
know?
I guess that's where we're ending it.
Yeah.
But nope. No way.
Way more. I was like, oh, wow. You know, I just drank a whole Coke.
Yeah.
I was going to go to the bathroom, but now I'm not. Yeah.
I know.
I was
Just a whole
patiently
bunch.
like watching all of it. Just like, yeah, I got to see all this. This is good.
Yeah.
And I mean, they did a good job. I'm trying to think of some other things that kind of got on my nerves about it. I mean, besides some of the logistic stuff, like why are you grabbing car keys? Or I'm trying to think of some other silly mistakes that they did. I mean, it was funny that they were like 15 minutes. The police will be here in 15 minutes. Oh, they were freaking out about that. Like,
that was a good scene too.
why-
Where they're like, the cops are gonna be here for 50 minutes. This is bullshit.
Yeah, like
I was
okay.
like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
like, they don't come right away.
Yeah.
But like, lo and behold, fuck, there's probably other shit happening.
Yeah.
There was other shit happening.
Yeah, all over Santa Cruz.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden they try to call the cops later, and it's just like,
we're
please
sorry.
stay on the line.
Yeah.
Well, how are the cops putting us on hold?
Yeah. What's up
It
with
was
that?
like-
This is a bullshit.
And then
Yeah.
they're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And then they turn on the TV and realize that this is like an epidemic thing. And you know, I was wondering in it, I'm glad we kept talking because I wanted to say this and forgot until now.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I was like, okay, did she just get enough people to go from coast to coast, East Coast to West Coast? Like, obviously, not every
Did everyone come out of
single
Santa Cruz?
person.
How did that work? Yeah.
Where
are they popping out of?
I'm
Because
like, what? There's some, like,
she came
some
out of this
holes
Hall of
that I was
Mirrors. Yeah.
thinking. I
She's
was
like,
like, okay.
Are they coming out of tunnels and caves like across the United States, or what's going on?
See, and I think that's what it was. For sure, that's what it was alluding to in the very beginning of the film, where it's saying like, there's tons of tunnels everywhere across.
Oh,
you know.
yeah. Okay,
yeah. So
okay.
so they're
So
all
this is
connected
one
throughout
tunnel.
America.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And so part of it, because
that was a good
I
filler
think,
for that
yeah,
model.
yeah.
Okay, they just said it right off the bat.
Yeah, they said it right off the bat. There's tunnels
everywhere. We don't know what they're for.
Yeah.
Tunnels everywhere.
So that was cool as like 3 sentences.
Yeah.
And then when
That
you're
didn't
thinking
click
about
until-
it, you're like, holy fuck. Like,
Yeah. Now, so they
like,
all
they
literally
could have
rose
come
up from underneath.
anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, but there was helicopters at the end, right? So not everyone was taken. So
were
I'm
they
like,
red helicopters? Because to me, it looks like I know with emergency services,
I wish.
the helicopters are red for search and rescue. I think.
I don't remember, but if they were red helicopters, that would be super duper
Interesting
cool, because
touch,
they all
right?
had red
uniforms. Yeah.
Yeah, because of the red cutouts and
So
the red people holding
logistically,
hands.
that's another one.
like-
How did they get their clothing, the bunks, the supplies to organize? How did they communicate?
Yeah, like there's
Which
a
is
lot
maybe
of
getting
like,
a little too much into it. But it was still cool seeing that. The other thing I noticed, not a single gun in the whole movie.
Nope, not one
What's
gun.
up with that? I'm a 2A guy. I like firearms. Corey knows. We go to the range every so often.
Yep.
Haven't gone lately, but I'm looking at it like, yeah, they got knives, clubs, they got bats. What is missing? And but even though it was like logistically kind of like, I guess you could say a plot hole, I felt like very entertained watching the whole.
Yeah.
Even with that, even with these little shortcomings that we're listing off, I mean, still not bad.
I mean, the picky parts are being so fucking picky. Like part when I was like, because when they tighten the glove, I was like, those are some cool ass gloves. How the fuck all them people get them gloves?
Yeah.
Who's making these leather gloves?
Who's getting the gloves? Yeah, little things like that.
So
what is that? Is there a meaning behind that? Is there some weird history behind that kind of thing?
Like, why do they only have one glove?
Yeah,
what the fuck? Did I miss something, or is this just just something that they might have missed, or they just did because it looked cool? You know, they're like, fuck, this looks really cool. Let's just do this. Which, hey, I don't have anything against that.
Yeah, do barbers use that in olden times? I feel like,
I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, right?
The tones of this movie just felt like, I don't know if Jordan Peele did research on maybe ancient lore or myth, but it just felt like it resonated on a really primal level. It made me think a few times like, this is a novel idea, but there's a lot of stories that they circle, and where in history has this kind of been mirrored, no pun intended, in days gone by, where a shadow self of you is trying to take over.
Yeah.
And it's like, that gave me goosebumps too, because, everybody's got a dark side, and they make that literal, and they make a lot of other things metaphorical.
Yeah.
So that was a fun twist too, how you're literally, it's a fight of good and evil, it's a fight of, and it's within yourself, and I really liked how, the people from, the Shadow Realm, down under, whatnot, good I might, is coming up, and they are methodically studying their counterparts. So that dance of death, every step, like you said, meticulously planned, meticulously thought. Not only from the cinematography aspect of it, but also from the characters aspect of it, which made it just so much more cool to watch. Because the nitpicky part of me is looking at it like, why is she making these huge swipes? Why is this? And part of it is like, I'm thinking, okay, they're telling a story. And the story is, this person has been studied. This person has been analyzed for years and years. They've been watched. And this tunnel system maybe is used as a way to observe. And maybe they're poking out, maybe they're looking and then going back under and relaying that info amongst all their counterparts. Who knows? That's another thought, is this tunnel system, they can rise up, and this is the first time they've risen up out of the tunnel system. Maybe there's been more than one time that they've looked to gain intel.
Maybe it's like the Matrix. It's not the first time this has happened. Yeah, this is like the seventh time, and it's just maybe it's just been going on this weird over and over again.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, that's something to consider too. Is like, how long this has been culminating and what they've done exactly. And I think that little dance of death that, we saw, maybe that was like a window into, maybe all these other people that came out from the tunnel system to kill their counterparts. Maybe she, as being this, person on Earth coming down underneath, teaching these people, like, maybe she shared something a little bit more. But as far as the movie,
maybe
I mean,
she gave them too much.
You just see this cut and dry part, where other people are just getting stabbed and killed, but maybe they were studied. Maybe everybody was studied, or a little bit more thought. With everybody else
at the
with the main characters of the story.
Well, at the very, very least, they were, because you could see it in the counterpart to the husband.
Yeah,
you could see him.
He's pushing up glasses
checking
that
him
aren't
out,
there,
and then he takes his glasses and puts his glasses on. Like, you could see, like, he's.
And now he's pushing up glasses on the bridge of his nose.
He's figuring some shit out.
Yeah.
He's being meticulous about it.
So part of it is they're connected, right? But because they're clones. Mm-hmm. But I'm also wondering, like, how much homework did they do before actually executing this?
Yeah, right. Well, and also, man, like, what you said was so on par with, like, the kind of feeling that the movie gives you.
Yeah.
Like, I like that you brought that up, because as you were saying that, I was like, holy shit, you're totally right. Like, it feels very dystopian, but yet, like, ancient at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, like I've had this feeling like it's familiar,
Yeah.
but yet it feels like a very old tale,
Yeah.
like something like the Indians,
Yeah.
would have been
Native
like,
Americans or
all
kinds
Native
of-
Americans
all
would
kind-
have like
what- or
this
India,
would have been like a
whatever,
myth
either
that
one.
they had,
Yeah.
or India. Fuck you,
Yeah.
thinking I'm saying something else that I'm not saying, but yeah, it was just like shit, man. It was a good feeling. It was a good feeling, and it was good to see this movie because
Yeah.
it's been. I want to
It's
say
been-
the last time that I walked out of a movie being like juiced about that movie
Yeah,
was
long time.
Annihilation. I saw Annihilation in theaters, and I walked out of that movie like, holy fuck, this movie
I don't
was
think I've
really
seen that one.
trippy, and
Yeah.
like it was deep, and it makes me think. I wonder what's going on with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And like this has been, other than that movie, this is it. This is the one that made me get out of it and be
It's-
like super juiced and
Yeah.
want me to. And like want to think about it, and
Yeah.
want to like, what are the other things that could have happened with this
Yeah,
movie?
for sure.
Like that's what I like. I like when they leave enough to where we're like wondering how'd the boy get those burns on his face, and
Yeah.
the other boy didn't. Like he likes playing with his little fucking flipper, but
Yeah.
the boy has a match and he likes lighting shit on fire. Does the boy, is he like fighting those tendencies off too? Is he like a little pyromaniac?
Yeah.
But he's not, because he's reflecting those emotions to like his clone or his like spiritual other or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like yeah, there was just there was a lot to think about.
You know, just one other point I was thinking of as you're making, talking about that was, it feels like this is the second movie that Jordan Peele has written and directed, I think.
Yes.
You know?
As
so
far
there's
as
Get
the like
Out.
really big ones,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure is Get Out.
The two
was
that
only
stand
one
out to
was, like,
me is
really
Get Out
big.
and this one, Get Out
Yeah.
and Us. And it felt like Get Out, and I know you haven't seen it, but it felt like there's a lot more social commentary on that. And if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, there's
I've seen
their
all the
bodies are
spoilers
taken over,
and-
right?
yeah.
It's like Revenge of the Body Snatchers. If you've seen that, it's kind of like that. And it felt like, I thought this was going to be sort of like that, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
Wait, did you just give a spoiler notice for Us?
I guess I did. Yeah,
I thought you were giving a spoiler notice for Get Out, and then you said that, and I was like, wait. We're way past that, my friend.
Yeah,
We've been
yeah.
spoiling this bitch for the last hour and a half.
no, I mean, yeah, no, forget out. But
no, yeah, Get Out. I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to talk about Get Out too. I never saw Get Out, and I told you before we saw the movie, I was like, I didn't know, like it was fucking Jordan Peele, and I was like, that's the comedian. He's a great comedian,
Yeah.
but I don't think I want to watch like a half-baked fucking horror movie by him.
Yeah.
Like that sounds stupid.
because they did Devil Baby or something. They did some cheesy comedy. It was a horror comedy years ago.
Yeah,
and it was just like,
and it was like, fuck that.
it wasn't that great.
Yeah, and then when the reviews came out, I have a couple really YouTubers that I watch, and I watched all of their reviews. And after I got done watching their reviews, I was like, "Fuck, maybe I should have gone and see this movie."
Yeah.
and not have been spoiled out on it because it sounds like it's really good. So I'm just waiting until I forget
Yeah.
what the spoilers were for Get Out, and then watch it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, once
and
you
I
have
think
that
I think
cleansed,
this
yeah.
movie might have done it.
It was a
Because
really
this
good
movie
film,
knocked out
yeah.
a lot of information. You know how your brain can only hold so much? This came in and a whole bunch of shit went out.
So it was different in the sense that it didn't feel like this movie had as much commentary on society. I don't know. Did you feel like there was anything about that?
I didn't.
It felt very
Yeah.
self-contained. It didn't feel like there was any political statements, which is nice because there's a lot of movies you get in there and it's like you're reminded of just a narrative that you may or may not want to listen to always,
Yeah.
And so this story, like I said, novel. It was creative. It went out and did a few things that most don't, or any. I can't think of any story that's like this as far as horror films are concerned.
Yeah, it was super real. I know. I figured it was like a Revenge of the Body Snatchers type thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, fuck it. Like, hey, like it's the Get Out got tons of great
Instead
reviews.
of aliens coming in, it's
So-
like from down below, and maybe it's like government experiments or whatnot, like you said.
But yeah, there was a lot more like morality to it.
Yes, yeah,
big
like
time.
a day of reckoning,
Yeah.
day of the rope type stuff where whatever you've done in the past, you're gonna have to answer for now, which is kind of cool. I like stories like that, something that's happened long ago. People think everyone's forgotten about, and
Right.
some people don't forget, and this is like one of those stories. It's kind of like Clint Eastwood always kind of has a character like that, and it felt like this character coming up from below. You're gonna pay for what you've done. Blah blah blah. Like whoa, that kind of stuff is
Yeah.
appealing. So
You know what Clint Eastwood movie that I always really, really liked? I wish I could remember the damn thing, but he was older when he did it.
Yeah.
It was him and Morgan Freeman.
Oh.
They did a movie
$1 Million
together.
Baby.
No. Oh, fuck. I forgot. They were a $1 Million Baby.
Oh, so there's more than
It was
one?
a $1 Million Baby. It was a
Yeah,
it was
were
a country movie.
Oh,
it was
man.
a cowboy
Unforgiven?
movie.
Was it Unforgiven?
I think it might have been Unforgiven, but they have like there's a younger kid in it,
Yeah.
and he's blind. Well, he's not blind, but it turns out he can't see very far. He's only good close up with a shotgun
I'm guessing it's Unforgiven.
and
I don't know.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like a lot of the Clint Eastwood movies, they have like a
You're gonna pay for what you did. Yeah,
your
I'm coming to
past
get
is
you.
gonna haunt you.
Yeah.
and this is totally what that was.
Yeah.
it was like you fucking pulled a switch on me, you fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Now I'm killing enough people.
Yeah.
To cross the entire continent because
Yeah.
of what you did to me.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, boy, be careful what you do. You
Yeah.
better be a good person. Like, yeah, it was a great morality story above all
sure.
of this. You see,
Yeah, I did like that.
like it kind of felt like, and I mean this in like the best way possible, it kind of felt like a little bit like a South Park episode where you're like, oh, you get this kind of like fun stuff and like, oh, stuff's happening, and like in this, not in South Park, but in this, like you're like fucking freaked out and
Yeah.
like all this stuff. And then like the end come and it's like Kyle's speech and it's like some like,
Hey, guys.
we need to learn
Or,
to
yeah,
do
yeah,
blah,
yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah," but like done 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
And maybe not the same. Maybe that's a fucking horrible analogy, and I've just been doing too much other things to make me think of that.
But that being said,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm spent. I know I could keep talking about it, but I think we hit all of like the really
Yeah.
good major points on it.
I can't. I'm trying to think of any items for the good of the order, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we've covered as much as we can.
Yeah.
So how do you want to close this out?
It was good. You need to go fucking
Go
see
see
it.
it.
Yeah. What are you listening to us for? Fuck.
Now
Get out!
go outside and play.